Today on Dr. Phil, teens out of control. They called the cops on their son 9 times.
You say he pushed you down the stairs?
Not intentionally. I just want to live by, no rules.
And you met little Miss Attitude.
Yes, I do steal from my mother.
Well, she's back.
I need your help.
I gave you my help, and you pulled the plug.
And Mom says she's worse than before.
You've taken a turn down that dark road again. Is that true? Let's do it. Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Pretty free. Take it.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Earlier this season, I had a disrespectful, defiant, bratty 16-year-old tell me between eye rolls and shoulder shrugs that she wasn't paying attention to me. Her name was Sabby, or Little Miss Attitude. You'll definitely remember her. Take a look.
Sabby.
My name is Courtney.
Sab.
The trouble with Sabby began back when she was 13.
Oh, why? I don't feel good.
Can you say your name for me?
No.
You can't say that for me?
No, because that's weird.
You meet somebody, what do you say?
They already know my name when I meet them.
You're not going to answer any of my questions, are you?
I don't know.
What do you know, Sabby? What do you know?
That I want to go to sleep.
Sabby has hit her grandmother.
I did not get into a fight with my grandmother.
Sabby has threatened to kill her little sister.
No, I did not threaten to kill my sister.
Sabby was in juvenile detention because she took my credit card while I was asleep.
Yes, I do steal from my mother.
Yes, I did steal from my mother. Why are you behaving that way?
Because I want to.
Why did you want to be here?
I'm not completely lost as what else to do.
I didn't choose to be here. Okay, I had to come here. I'm not supposed to be here.
And your point?
I'm not paying attention.
Okay. My prediction is if you take her home, it's going to be worse. So what do you want to do?
I don't want anybody's help from people I don't know.
Well, something's going on for you to act like this.
Nothing's going on. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. All these rich people are annoying the crap out of me.
It's time to get moving towards the program, Turnabout Ranch.
I can't go.
You don't have to yell.
No, I'm yelling because I'm pissed the hell off. I don't belong in some stupid place like that.
Yeah, I see you're trying.
Well, after the show, Sabby was escorted by a licensed transporter to Turnabout Ranch, where she plugged in for 16 weeks and started to really turn things around.
I've been at the program for 4 months. Most of the time I've enjoyed it, but the other times have been really hard. My mom's screwing up very badly. She doesn't take accountability at all. My mom still lets my sister do whatever she wants. She smokes cigarettes and she's drinking and she's being really disrespectful. She could be doing so much better with her life instead of ruining it like I did. I don't think my mom is stable enough for me to come home. If I go home now, I'm just gonna relapse into that old behavior. I don't think my mom will ever be ready to have a stable environment.
It's not just because home isn't ready. She needs to go on to another program or needs further treatment.
I wrote Dr. Phil a letter. Dear Dr. Phil, I'd like to apologize for the way I acted on the show. And also I would like to thank you for sending me to Turnabout. But one part of me wants to go home, but I'm afraid of relapsing. Graduating from Turnabout would be a great accomplishment for me. My hope is to go back on the show and show them the progress that I've made.
Well, those hopes have sadly been dashed because despite Sabby wanting to continue working on herself, her mother decided, nah, she didn't need another treatment program, and she just pulled her out and took her home. Now, Courtney says she made a huge mistake because Sabby's behavior is worse than ever.
Hey, Dr. Phil, I was using my mother's intuition and went against the judgment of the clinical director and brought her home with me. And boy, did I make a very big mistake. By that first Friday that she was home, she was being unruly, disrespectful, defiant,
cussing, hollering, screaming, still calling me a bitch, still stealing money from me. She's the exorcist. I don't know what to do. I feel helpless. She's smoking weed and doing drugs, having sex in my house. Sabby is known as a whore. She's quit school since she's got home. These things are rubbing off on my 14-year-old daughter. Now they're both out of control. I am reaching out again. I'm willing to do whatever I need to make it right. Please, please, please help me. I need your help again.
Courtney, what's going on?
It's the question of what isn't going on. I was thinking I did the right thing by not letting her stay at the Copper Canyon, and something wasn't feeling right. I got there, and I felt that Sabby would be bullied. My mother's intuition, I didn't feel good about leaving her.
So what do you want from me?
I need your help.
I gave you my help.
Yeah, I understand that.
So why are you here now? What do you want from me now?
With all due respect, and when she went to Turnabout Ranch, it helped, and I agreed on the Copper Canyon. I felt it was the right thing to do, and you know, we went shopping. I got her necessities for Copper Canyon, and I was fine about bringing her there. And when we pulled up, I got out and I had a tour of the place, and just something did not feel right at all, So I brought her home, and the first 4 or 5 days she was home, it was okay. But after about a week, it went to hell. Sabby reverted back to calling me a bitch, saying I'm trying to set rules, that she's going to be living in a prison.
I don't want to tell you to ignore your mother's intuition, but on the other hand, that's not my intuition. I saw this as we sent her to Turnabout Ranch, which for everybody at home, this is a working ranch. It's a therapeutic ranch, and there's so much that goes on in these kids learning respect and taking responsibility and working with animals and seeing their ability to master their environment and see themselves accomplish things. She responded to that in such a terrific way. The clinical director there and everybody involved felt that she had made progress and was ready to go to the next level, to go to a different environment where she had different levels of interaction and different responsibilities and had to interact more and become socially responsible and fit in and negotiate her place within a sociogram in a different way. And that's why she didn't start there. She started here and then got herself ready to do that, and you pulled the plug.
I made a huge, huge mistake, because now I'm paying the consequences.
Sabby is here today and says she wants to talk to me. We'll find out why she chose to go down that same dark path once again, next.
Turnabout Ranch, I learned that you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. I don't treat my mom like I want her to treat me because she's a bitch. If I had a chance to talk to drphil, I would tell him that my mom kind of needs more help than I do.
Courtney says Sabby swears that she is sexually active, sneaks out, is dropped out of school, is stealing cash. Courtney also says she's lost 15 pounds from all the stress. Sabby is joining me now. Let's take a look.
Turnabout Ranch, I learned that you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. I don't treat my mom like I want her to treat me because she's a bitch. And she bitches constantly about everything and tries to play head games. My mom and I's relationship is not good at all. and she doesn't take accountability for everything she's done to me and my sister and everyone else. If I had a chance to talk to Dr. Phil, I would tell him that my mom kind of needs more help than I do.
Well, I didn't plan on seeing you here yet, but I will admit even though it's under the wrong circumstances, it is good to see you. But it sounds like you've kind of taken a turn back down that dark road again. Is that true?
I mean, I'm not going to say that I haven't. I take accountability that I have.
Yeah. Why?
I guess kind of like I still have some of that pain and that hurt that I did still before. And I mean, I let some of it go, but I didn't let all of it. And I kind of let that overcome what I worked on.
Does she not trust you enough to be honest with you?
I don't think she trusts me at all. But then again, I don't trust her at all.
But I mean emotionally.
No.
Because there are things she's not telling you about your dad.
Yeah, she's not telling me mostly anything about my childhood at all.
Is that part of what's bugging you?
Yeah.
Is that true?
We have had plenty of conversations.
Tell me the truth. You may spin things for her.
I'm not spinning anything.
I'm just asking you to tell me. I'm not asking you what all the story is. I'm just asking you, are you being judicious about what you share with her?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just asking, are you?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not going to ask you to change that now. I'm just asking you, and you may be right. I'm not even disagreeing with that. But you're being judicious about what you're sharing with her.
Yes.
And you realize that as she's growing and maturing, that there is a point at which she needs to know this truth and is entitled to know this truth at some point.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that's now.
Right.
I'm not saying it's today, but you understand that monsters live in the dark, and at some point, she's better off knowing everything than not knowing everything.
I completely agree.
And again, I'm not saying that's right now, or that this is the place for that to happen, but that she is entitled to know the truth at some point.
I agree.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
And it creates a lot of pain and conflict in her not knowing, and you know some truth that it may be difficult for her to know everything too.
Right.
But she thinks you need at least as much help as she does. And at this point, I think you might kind of surrender to that.
You know, it's hard when you try to, and I don't make excuses, okay? I try to be very honest and truthful with my daughter. We both have our issues, and we both have been through a lot. There's nothing else I could talk to Sabby about as far as her dad. She knows everything with her dad, and this just recently came out since she was at Turnabout Ranch. Mm-hmm. And I've worked on my own self while she was gone for 4.5 months. It's not a matter of sitting down and chatting, because it's not a chatting conversation with us. It's a yelling, walk away, slam the door, get out of my face, you're nothing but a bitch. Yeah. And there's only so much that a mom, me, can take of that.
Next, we'll find out if Sabby is willing to return to Copper Canyon and work on getting her life back on track. Sabby was, by far, one of the worst eye-rolling, sass-talking, obstinate teens we have had on the show this season. But she started to turn her life around until her mother derailed the program we set up for her. Sabby, you have demonstrated one thing to me that I knew from the beginning, and that is that you have the drive and the ability to become the young woman that I know that you can become, that you can claim a life in this world where you walk with dignity and self-respect. I know that. And you're not living that way right now because, I mean, this world has conspired to throw a lot of things at you that are unfair. And I'm not trying to excuse all of your bad choices because you've got to own some of those, but we've sure put a lot of speed bumps in your way. And I'm one of those guys that, like a dog with a bone, I don't give up easy, and I don't give up on you. And you worked really hard, and Kristen is here. Was she a rock star at Turnabout or what?
Yes, definitely. The Turnabout Ranch, she really excelled and was really reaching just great milestones. And it was a stepping stone to that next level of care, and which unfortunately didn't happen.
But you worked hard, and you proved that if people, toxic forces in your life, would step back and let you define who you were, that you did that in a healthy and positive way. And I couldn't have been more proud of you. They couldn't have been more proud of you. Then that got derailed. And I don't want that to happen. I want to stay engaged with you. I want to plug all of this back in. I want to put you back on track so you can be healthy and happy and get your education on track, get your life on track, and do the things that you need to do. I'm in your corner. I want you to do the things you need to do. I want you to go to Copper Canyon. I want you to go to college. I want you to do whatever it is that your life and heart leads you to do. And I am not giving up on you. And your mother is willing to step back in this, and I'm just telling you, I'm behind you, and I want you to do this. And I'm making that offer to you again. I want you to do what you need to do. I want you to take care of yourself. And I don't want you to do this for your mother. I don't want you to do it for me. I don't want you to do it for them. I want you to do this for you. I want you to put yourself first, be selfish for yourself, and give yourself the chance to become the young woman that you have demonstrated you can be. Do this for yourself. I mean, come on. You have shown all of your ability, all of your skill. Give yourself a chance to do this. Don't go down this road. Don't wind up in some damn dead-end street with some damn trailer park with no utilities, some dead-end apartment with some loser guy. Don't do that. That is not who you are. You have to take care of yourself and nurture yourself. And so I want you to get back in this program and take care of yourself. And I'm offering that to you, and I want you to do it. Will you do it?
Do what?
I want you to go back to Copper Canyon and do what you need to do.
Only problem, like, when I was there, like, I thought I was going to get picked on a lot.
Not going to happen. Let me tell you, I will tell you personally, it is not going to happen. You got a big brother, and I am a mean son of a bitch. Okay? Personal guarantee will not happen. Will not happen. I'm telling you, my personal guarantee, that will not happen. Trust me, give it a chance. If you want to leave, you can leave. But give it a shot. It will not happen. It will not happen. Phil DeSabi. No TV, no show, I'm telling you, it will not happen. I'm your big brother here.
I don't know. I just think that if I go, I'm not going to be happy. And then I think if I go home, like, it's still going to be the same with my mom, because I think my mom is not responsible at all in any situation.
Well, listen, clearly there are problems there. I'm just asking you to give this a chance. If you don't like it, then we'll look at an alternative. Just give it a chance. If you don't like it, you can leave. We'll find an alternative. Okay? Give it a chance. That's all I'm asking. And I'm not telling you, I'm asking. Give it a chance. If you don't like it, we'll look at something different.
Okay.
Okay? All right? Deal? Next, we'll meet a mother who says her 15-year-old son has anger issues and turns into a raging lunatic who has assaulted her, his stepfather, and other children.
One time, my husband came in and had to pry Brandon off me. I was bruised from shoulder to wrist.
I said, Brandon, what's going on? Then he came at me. Sucker punched me in the side of the head.
My greatest fear is Brandon's gonna die. And if he doesn't die, then he's gonna hurt somebody.
Our next guest, Lisa, says her 15-year-old son, Brandon, is a rageaholic who is wreaking havoc in their home. She claims he pushed her down the stairs, assaulted his stepfather, and even smashed all the windows in their house.
My son's name is Brandon, and he's 15 years old. Brandon, growing up, was the perfect child. He was so happy. Now, Brandon has major anger issues. Brandon started to change during 6th grade. He started harassing and bullying other children. In 8th grade, Brandon had told us that he had been selling drugs and stealing money. Brandon started smoking marijuana around the age of 13 or 14. When Brandon uses pot, he turned into a raging lunatic. He goes ballistic.
He had a confrontation with Lisa. I said, Brandon, what's going on? What's wrong? You want to fight me? Then he came at me. Sucker punched me in the side of the head.
One time, my husband came in and had to pry Brandon off me, and at that point, he looked at my arms and realized that I was bruised from shoulder to wrist. Another time, I was driving in the truck. He became very violent, punching things. I asked him to get out. He took his lacrosse stick and proceeded to hit the truck. Brandon's relationship with his girlfriend, I feel, is a very unhealthy one. He's very obsessive, very controlling. He obsesses over his girlfriend like he does marijuana.
Brandon's attitude right now is when he's 16 years old, he's going to quit school. He's going to live on the streets.
I feel like a failure. I don't know what I did that was wrong. But as a parent, when you see your child struggling this much, you have to say, there must be something that I did. My greatest fear is Brandon's gonna die. And if he doesn't die, then he's gonna hurt somebody, and there will be no turning back.
What do you think's going on with this young man?
I think he's severely depressed.
Right? Why?
Well, back 3 years ago, it started with my husband had a heart attack. Within only a few months after that, he had lost his great-grandmother. Within 2 months after that, his girlfriend's father died suddenly. And at that point, Brendan basically had a breakdown.
You say that things have escalated to the point that you've had to restrain him, or at least attempt to.
Attempt to.
Right. But of course, if he's in a fit of rage, he's like trying to grab a spider monkey, right?
Oh, hey, he's a strong kid.
Yeah. And you say he pushed you down the stairs?
Mm-hmm. I was by the stairs, and he was just trying to get away, so he just knocked me. You know, not necessarily that he intentionally meant to hurt me, but he knocked me, and I just rolled. I just went completely like you see in the movies.
Yeah. And so you rolled down the stairs.
Correct.
And then you hit the landing and hit your head on the tile.
Correct.
Were you pretty addled?
Yeah.
At that point? And then he just blows by.
He just blew by, never even stopped to see if I was okay.
I see that you've called the police on him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9 different occasions. Correct. I believe you've called the police on him, and or they've brought him home.
Correct.
Whatever, because he gets out of control.
Correct.
Okay. He has knocked holes in the wall. He just becomes violent against anything or anybody, right?
Yes.
And you say he had a nervous breakdown?
To me, that's what it appeared to be after Matt died.
Yeah. And I don't know what a nervous breakdown is. I mean, people say that all the time. I don't know what that is. In this case, what did you see? Did he
just
cry uncontrollably, couldn't talk?
He kept crying. His grades started going down. He just stopped caring about anything that was important to him. His lacrosse, his football. The only thing that he really cared about was the girlfriend.
If I had some insight into why he's doing what he's doing, would you be interested in it?
Most definitely.
Would you like to know why he's doing what he's doing? Because I do feel like I know. I feel like I know exactly why he's doing what he's doing.
Okay.
And as I've said before, 50% of the solution lies in defining the problem. If you can define the problem, you're halfway home. And I do think I get what's going on. Now, we've got to take a break, so I'm going to tell you that in a minute. But up next, how can a 15-year-old boy think it's all right to physically assault his own mother? Well, I'm going to ask him that because he's going to join us right after the break.
I argue a lot with my mom. I think she rages a lot, like by yelling at me. When I get angry, I go straight to blackout. After everything happens, it's all fuzzy. My muscles just tense up and I'll just break something.
Well, Lisa and Tom are here today seeking help for Lisa's out-of-control and violent 15-year-old son. Now, take a look at what Brandon has to say about it all.
I feel like I don't have any control over my life. My family tries to help me, but I don't want their help. I wish people would just leave me alone. I love my mom, but she nags me constantly about smoking weed. She talks crap about my friends, just basically everything. She doesn't care about my feelings. She only cares about herself. I think she rages a lot, like by yelling at me. I argue a lot with my mom. According to my mom, I stress her out too much, and that's why she yells. I feel that I'm blamed for everything. When my mom and I argue, I get really angry and tend to leave the house or break something. I don't really like my stepdad. One day I went home from school and my stepdad found my electronic cigarette. He slapped me in the face. I turned around to go run down the stairs and my mom was standing there and I bumped her over, not intentionally, and she fell down the stairs. When I get angry, I go straight to blackout. After everything happens, it's all fuzzy. My muscles just tense up and I'll just break something or I'll just be like, screw this, I'm leaving. And then she'll end up calling the cops. The last time I got angry, my mom smashed my glass pop pipe and I got more angry than I ever have been. I went outside, broke windows, and then my mom called 911 on me. I was charged with a felony that night, and that is still pending. I think I'll be able to control my anger better without my mom and stepdad in my life. I don't want to live by anybody's rules, I just want to live lawlessly.
Do you yell and scream at him?
Yes, I do.
It doesn't help if you're yelling at him and his perception is that everything he does is wrong. You get there are some things you do that you need to not do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody has the right to put their hands on another person in anger. Nobody has the right to intimidate and yell and scream and attack. That you don't have the right to do that any more than they have the right to do that to you. You say when this happens that you actually black out.
The next day, it'll like just be fuzzy, like not sort of like remember, like I don't really remember it all.
You say you want to just live lawlessly? What does that mean?
Just like, I just want to live by like, without my parents' rules. So I'm just like, rather live by like, no rules. Like, not having to be told what to do.
What you're saying is, you feel really crowded sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
Give me a little space here. Because if they would just leave you alone, let you sit on the couch, play your video games, smoke your dope, go hang with your friends and your girlfriend, you'd be easier to get along with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see the problem. But the problem with that is that, A, it's illegal. You're already being lawless because that's illegal in your state and it's illegal at your age. And if he and she were to condone that, then they would be guilty of contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and they could be held accountable for your malfeasance, your bad deeds. I think everything is a negotiation. Seriously, I've got 2 boys, and I've negotiated with them my entire life, as recently as before I walked over here to do the show, on something. And that's okay. Life's a negotiation. You'll find when you get a job or when you're with your girlfriend, you negotiate with her. Right?
Yeah.
You negotiate with teachers. You're always saying, well, you know, it's a little give and take, a little give and take. And you need to be willing to negotiate with your parents. Negotiate, because I think one of the things that always worked well for me with my boys, they said, you know, we want to have sleepovers, we want to go do this, we want to go do that. And, you know, Robin was always really good about this. We set up, we set up certain guidelines of what you do, and if you do these things, you get to do that. And if you don't, you don't. And then we were out of it. It was really up to them. We couldn't change our mind because our mood changed. If I were to help this whole family set up a plan where you had more control over what you wanted to do, would that be a good thing?
Yeah.
What do you think about what I'm saying?
I like that idea, as long as Brandon knows that no more marijuana.
Oh, we'll talk about that. That's part of the negotiation. Now, see, there's one thing in negotiations that you don't do. You just ran the first red light in negotiation. You don't deal with ultimatums in negotiation. You just don't. I mean, it's just like, here's my last price, take it or leave it. Well, that's a short conversation, right? You got to be willing to discuss things. And you may know in your mind and heart what your boundaries are, but you find ways to get there. You find ways to work on that. And you want to negotiate because you're 15, they can go nuclear. They can take you out of the game. I mean, you say you don't like controls, they can put you where you got to ask permission to think. One of the best rules in dealing with a teenager is to appeal to their greed. Okay? Seriously, because let me tell you, at a teenage level, teenagers want what they want when they want it, and they want it right now. That describes you, right? You're saying, I want what I want, and I want it when I want it, and I want it now. That's kind of how you look at things. True?
Sorta.
Sorta, yeah, sorta. So you have to understand who you're dealing with. And if I arrange for you to really learn how to be a good negotiator instead of a rager, that would serve you a lot better, because you can't rage at work, but you can negotiate. You can't rage with a girlfriend because they'll leave you, but you can negotiate. You can't rage when you go out socially with friends because they'll not want to be around you. But if you learn to negotiate, you can make a huge difference in how much of what you want you actually get. Will you work with us on this?
Yeah.
That's all there is. That's all there is to it. Fair enough?
It's fair.
Coming up, the good news is she was elected to homecoming court. The bad news is it was all a cruel joke. A bullying case that made headlines when we come back.
What started out as a cruel joke led to a case of internet bullying. Tanya and Ricky Tanner say their mentally challenged daughter was elected in a landslide to the homecoming court. The threats, they say, then came about students plotting to egg the float and humiliate their daughter.
There needs to be a message sent to the kids, and they need to learn a lesson out of this.
Each and every day, 160,000 students miss school for fear of being bullied. My next guests say their 16-year-old daughter was nominated to the homecoming court as part of a cruel joke by a group of bullies.
What started out as a cruel joke led to a case of internet bullying. Tanya and Ricky Tanner say their mentally challenged daughter was elected in a landslide to the homecoming court. The threats, they say, then came about students plotting to egg the float and humiliate their daughter.
If a whole group of people is capable of this type of plot, that tells me that this whole environment is tainted, and there needs to be a message sent to the kids, and they need to learn a lesson out of this.
Well, Tanya and Ricky are joining me. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Even though you know this arose as a prank, your daughter is very excited about it, right?
Right. She was happy after the nomination. She was happy throughout the whole process, and we had initially decided to take her out of everything. We didn't want to expose her to what could have happened or humiliation, but our daughter came to us, and after we had explained everything that happened to her, she said that she forgives the kids, that she believes they're sorry for what they've done, and that she wants everybody else to forgive them. Mm-hmm. So at that point, we decided to put it in her hands. Maybe she was more mature than everybody else involved. And we let her participate in homecoming, and we let her ride in the parade, and she went to the football game, and she went to the dance, and she had a wonderful time. Our problem now is with the disciplining of children that were involved in the original plot to nominate her. We think that it's a bigger issue than just punishing those kids.
We weren't looking for a suspension in all this. In fact, I had suggested, as my daughter is a special needs child, that perhaps they work, as a teacher's aide in a special education classroom, and that way maybe they could learn a little empathy, and they could learn that, just because a child is a little bit different, they're no less, they're just different.
Yeah, but it's just it's so impressive to me that the two of you have navigated this thing so well so far. I mean, in finding out what was going on, having a candid and age-appropriate conversation with your daughter, letting her have some ownership in the decision, and then seeking to come up with some plan for the school so this doesn't help somebody else. I mean, that's the kind of leadership we need from parents in bullying situations. So first off, God bless you for doing the right thing in that regard.
It hasn't always felt like it was the right decision. We've questioned ourselves every step of the...
And I'm not sure there is a right decision that you can generalize to everyone. I think what you have to do is customize it to the child's understanding and resiliency. But I think you're headed in the right direction. You use the word mentoring these bullies, and I've talked about it in another story in saying we don't just want to punish these bullies, which just teaches them more anger, more hostility, more bitterness, but instead mentor them and put them in situations, Ricky, like you're talking about, maybe working as a teacher's aide or having workshops where they have to role play and do role reversals. There are all kinds of protocols to really help kids grow their empathy and grow their sensitivity. And I think this is a great catalyst for that kind of change. All right, next, I'll tell you what to do if your child is being bullied. If your child is a victim of bullying, there are some things that you as a parent can do to help. First off, you really need to empower your children. Talk to them about who they are as a person. Talk to them about their worth, their skills, their abilities, the things that make them uniquely special. Talk to them about being assertive. Let them know that they have the right to stand up for themselves and to stand in their own power. Call the bully's parents. Be sure that they know what's happening. Don't feel that you're just going to make the situation worse. Don't call them with your hair on fire, making accusations. Partner with them so the two of you as parents can resolve the situation. Be involved. This is not a time to say, hey, children will be children. Partner with your child, again, calmly and working through your child, but don't let them feel lonely at this time in their life. Speak with your child's teachers to make sure there's an attitude that bullying will not be tolerated. And remember, they don't always know what's going on. These are dedicated professionals. Look, they're not doing this for the money. They're doing it because they care. They're there to help your children. Partner with them, co-opt them as someone that can really help you. They care about your children or they wouldn't be there. Don't make accusations, make friends. Look, I want to thank all of my guests today. I want to give a special thanks to Kristen Hayes and the Aspen Educational Group for providing the Copper Canyon Academy. Now, Copper Canyon is an all-girls licensed residential treatment center, and it's located in Rimrock, Arizona. The program's mission is to provide an experience that really redirects and enhances the emotional, physical, mental, and social skills of young women by helping them really rebuild self-confidence and self-reliance. And I think, personally, that they do a really good job. So, Kristen, thank you, and thanks to all the good work that you do at Copper Canyon. See you next time. So long.